Hey everyone, welcome back to the Comic Wall. It's your girl, the Outcast Angel, and today let's talk about issue 179 of The Walking Dead, part 5 of 6 of New World Order. I cannot believe we're already wrapping up this new story arc, and from everything we've seen at the Commonwealth, this is really going to change everything that Robert Kirkman has built since issue number 1, and I can't wait. It's exciting. Alright, guys, covers. These two are gorgeous. Of course, we have the original misleading cover and the tribute cover to Carl by Bill Sienkiewicz. I really hope I'm saying your name right. And I always dug the really somber looking covers The Walking Dead has done. I think that, there's, you know what, I'm not even going to count how many there are because there's too many to count. But yeah, Charlie, Cliff, Stefano, and Bill Sienkiewicz have really been knocking it out of the park with these covers, and that's one of the things that always brings me back is the art. It's just gorgeous. So how about we just go ahead and dive right in. So yeah, after last issue, I was really wanting to know what was going to happen, especially after Sebastian first off bitch slapped Michonne's daughter. No, nobody does that. And just, the whole, it's best that we know our place. What does that mean? And of course, that's what Michonne opens up with. So, Michonne's trying to get an answer out of Elodie, who's a little hesitant on giving her answer. And this is where Sebastian comes in, saying, it means you people owe my family everything. Without us, you have no security or safety. So before you make a complete fool out of yourself, you might want to consider what's at risk. Which, of course, is nothing too big for our group from Alexandria because, they've lived through so much worse, and they're very seasoned survivors. So, they in a contest between who would survive between the original communities and the Commonwealth, I'm pretty sure the original communities would win, hands tied. So Officer Mercer kind of talks Sebastian down, saying, I don't think your mother would appreciate you slapping around our citizens. And Sebastian backhands Officer Mercer, and Mercer doesn't have to say anything to tell him that he fucked up. Because he just gives one cold hard stare, and Sebastian's like, I think I'm gonna go now, that point's been made. And Mercer's like, I think that would be best for you. And Sebastian walks away kind of with his tail between his legs. So yeah, from here, Mercer addresses the group, kind of saying, the Commonwealth has more than a few bad apples, but it's pretty big, so I guess it outweighs those bad apples. One thing that interests me here is says, Michonne says that doesn't make it right, and Mercer says, never said it was, it's just one of the sacrifices we make. I wonder how well Mercer does out in the wild, because he seems like a pretty seasoned soldier, basically, and just the way he carries himself, he's much better trained than the rest of the soldiers, so I wonder if he's lived out there as long as our survivors have. And then he turns to Sadiq, and so I think Sadiq is pretty safe now because he turns to Sadiq and says, so I think you understand the need to blow off steam from time to time. And Sadiq's like, oh yeah, of course, definitely. So now the group is back at Elodie's apartment. I'm pretty sure it's Elodie's apartment. And they address this, like, Sadiq, what did he mean? And he tells them how he walked into Mercer and another soldier talking about how they wanted the governor's whole family dead, or how easy it would be to let them die. And I like how he mentions that because it's not like he said that he wants to kill them, And so Elodie chimes in saying, if Mercer says they were blowing off steam, that's pretty much what they were doing. He has no desire to run things, and deep down, I think he likes the way things are run. And Stephanie chimes in that the upper class doesn't cause any trouble. The upper class, which is something that Michonne addresses, like, what the hell are you talking about? And Elodie and Stephanie pretty much say, like, it's all based on what they did before. And if you're upper class before all this happened, you're upper class now, and that pretty much I guess cements your place in the Commonwealth. I mean, it's pretty interesting, and even Stephanie says that it's there's a way to move up, so you're not always stuck where you are. So I guess it's kind of like leaving off where they did in the old world, and just continuing on from there with the usual nuisance of the zombies. And Eugene mentioned something that I agree with, because with all these communities going up, I mean, look at the Saviors. They had their own kind of class system. There was Negan, top dog. There were, like, Dwight, and I think it was only Dwight as, like, his right-hand man. And then there was his wives, and then they were the ones who were earning points to get different things. So they had a different class system. Not perfect, of course, but it was there. And also something that they mention in later, they say how the Hilltop has a type of class system as well. Those who live in the Barrington house, that big house in the center of the Hilltop, and whoever doesn't have a room there, it has to live in the trailers, and the trailers weren't always all that well. But, it's basically a class system in some sense. And even then, Eugene mentions that I don't think we've ever had enough people for a class system to develop. I mean, if you look all over the world, everyone has a class system. There's always the upper class, the middle class, and the lower class. And, everyone's in a different class. And it doesn't, it's always been there, always throughout history. Now, with the end of the world, you would think that went down the drain. It's gone. Whatever you had in the past doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't count for anything now. It only counts what you have to offer now. And this is where Magna comes in, saying, like, getting all pissed that, what are you talking about? Are you actually agreeing with these people? And she hates it. And I can agree with it, because I wouldn't, if the world went to shit and we tried to rebuild everything again, I would want to do away with a class system, because everyone should have an equal chance to survive in a world where it's already hard enough to survive. And Magna is voicing that she absolutely hates that. And so Michonne and the others try to, like, calm her down, saying, like, just hear me out, and that's where she mentioned about the Hilltop and everything. It's unavoidable. It's something that happens. So either way, even if I were to try and rebuild the world in a post-apocalyptic setting, it would happen anyway. So yeah, Magna's pretty pissed about this, and understandably so, because with the world ending, you would think whatever low role you had in the old world, and whatever kind of person you may have been in the old world, now you have basically a new chance to start over. And with the Commonwealth instituting this kind of system, that kind of brings it back. Like, I was nothing in the old world, and now I'm going to be nothing in this new world? That doesn't make sense. So after that, we kind of get a tour of the Commonwealth ourselves, along with the other characters. And a couple of my favorite scenes in these tours are where Michonne goes to Elodie's bakery, or the bakery that she works at, and she's taking a cupcake, and Elodie says, I feel like every day we go without dying earns us a cupcake. But maybe that's just me. You know what? I agree with you, Elodie. It's perfect. I'm going to live by that every day. Then another scene here is where Stephanie and Eugene are talking, and Stephanie's like, so you want to see my apartment? And Eugene's like, sure. And she's like, wait, not like that. I just mean, like, if you wanted to move here, you get to see options, and it's kind of like that too. I think they're going to be cute together, and I think Eugene needs this, especially after everything that's happened. Not to mention, they have football games. They actually have football games, and I love that they actually show us that little scene here, because it's it's perfect. It's just like they kept as much of the old world as they could. Now we jump to Michonne and Lance, where they're talking about their trip back to Alexandria, and Lance is trying to convince her, like, I think it would be best if you stayed, because I know you have enjoyed being reunited with your daughter, and I'm sure you're not looking at spending any more time away from her anytime soon, and we could always use more lawyers. And this is also something he says, that a lawyer with your talents would be quite comfortable here. He's already offering her a step up, a foothold in a higher rank in the Commonwealth, and so it's interesting. I can't wait to see how she's going to adapt, in other words. So now, this scene I hate because we see Governor Milton getting ready to make the trip over to Alexandria, and she's dressed like she's going on a safari, and I mean, sure, it just looks like kind of like adventure gear, but it's just it looked like something out of a movie. But oh, whoa. Okay, so this is where Sebastian kind of gets shut up here, because he's like, I'm not gonna listen. His mom tells him to listen to Lance while she's gone. He's like, hey, fuck Lance. I'm not a kid anymore. You don't have to. And then she stops him with, Sebastian, I'm serious. Have fun. Fuck your girls. Don't cause any trouble. Whoa. Mom. Like, really? And even he says, okay, you don't have to be gross. She goes on this little banter saying, like, you have an opportunity to make something of yourself. All you have to do is apply yourself. And, it's kind of just a pep talk, a mom pep talk. And he this is surprising, because he says, I know I'm destined for greatness, and I'm not living up to my potential. I get it. I'm sorry. Do we have to do this now? And it's interesting, because he admits it. And he doesn't seem the type of person to admit things. So they're getting ready to go, and Eugene's talking with Michonne, and this is where she brings up that, I'm not going to go. And Eugene's like, are you sure you want to come and, just tell them yourself that you're going to leave? Because they've barely talked to any of us. Also, that would help, because between them and the people from the Commonwealth, it would help to really, have someone to, I guess, speak for them. But this is where it shocks me the most. And, of course, Robert Kirkman and the rest of the team really know how to get shock value out of their readers, because Michonne is just like, give Rick this. And she hands over her katana to Eugene. And this is where she says, it's not who I was, it's not who I am anymore. I don't need it. And me staying here without it will tell Rick all he needs to know about this place. And that's also a thing, because, Michonne left at one point during the New Beginning arc, and she left without a word. She didn't say where she was going. She didn't say what was happening. She left on one of the sailing trips that the ocean community took to go get fish, to go fishing, basically. And she disappeared, And so, saying this for Rick would really cement, like, wow, she's found something for herself. And what's interesting with what she said is that she's been trying to get rid of this sword for the longest time. We first saw it when they got to Alexandria. She hung up her sword and she was done with it. And then, she didn't want anything to do with it. But then came the time for the Saviors to come in, and she needed it back. And so, she's really been trying to get rid of this sword, not have to need it anymore, because, like she said, it's not who she was, and it's not who she is. So, she's done with that part of her life. She just wants to be with her daughter and live a life that she can survive. So now they're on their trip back, and we get some pretty cool scenes. First we get everyone leaving from the Commonwealth, and then we get this beautiful spread of the Ohio. I forgot what city this is, and it's beautiful. It's the night sky, the city, everyone coming out off the bridge, and even Princess says, "I don't know. I might miss this place. Might." So this is where this is where I get frustrated again, because they finally make it back to Alexandria, and Governor Melton peeks out of her horse-drawn carriage, by the way, and says, "What a shithole. You don't know what they've gone through, lady." And so Eugene and Magna ride ahead to kind of try and give Rick and the others a heads up that, hey, we got new people coming, be careful, we don't know what they're capable of, but hopefully they're as friendly as they seem, as Eugene says. And ooh, this last page, guys, he's like, "I hope they're as friendly as they seem for their sake," because we know our people know how to deal with threats, and if they become a threat, we know how to deal with them. So that's the end of this issue, and yeah, I'm really excited to see how this series is, or not the series, but how this story arc is gonna end. And of course, with the next issue's cover, it's one of my favorites, of course, again. And so, you know, I'll be here to talk it out with y'all. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked this video. Drop a like, show the love, hit the subscribe button to get more of my videos, ring the bell to get notifications of when I post new videos, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.